that she doesn't like people eating on stream. But you ever like make a deal with somebody? It's like, keep all the cutlery in the car and don't, because I need it. And then the next thing you know, because your boss said, I want all of this clean, and the tools you need to do your work are gone because somebody forgot, you know? So it's like, waking up and your bank is gone. It's like somebody wanted to clean all the banks, but I had stuff in there, you know? So I figure all you white people, and they say Jewish people are white, but, and you can pick up a matzo ball and eat it. It's just seeing somebody holding rice like this. Ew, you know? I eat it like, so that I can show white people if you had to eat with your fingers, and I know you did before, it's just, to show like your boss, yeah, I know how to use a spoon and fork. And people be like, that's disgusting. That's primitive. That's regressive. Like with the Zora and Mamdani thing. Like, don't you guys use that hand to wipe your ass? I honestly don't know what white people do with their hands. I mean, like, I've never dated a white girl at all. So I would be able to confidently tell you, like, whatever. But I'm married to a Filipina. And the thing is, if you have all these fancy things, it's just a way to reduce your dignity. Like, you don't know how to use a spoon and fork. I'm coalescing my poopy crisp. That's probably like Mark Mays, trying to gross me out. But the thing is, I'm always hungry. This is called beefsteak. My wife made this. Um, So my point was, telling people what you don't like is like, forcing your lifestyle on them. This is not even a dish or a roast to sab. It's just, shouldn't you have learned by now? Or maybe it's the victim mentality. Like, don't touch me. You touched me. Or touch me, bro. Don't touch me. I'm telling the cops. Stuff like that. So I'm a Republican, right? And I have no choice at all. The nominee is Curtis Sliwa. And I've been saying it's Silwa. I don't know. You're supposed to use, like, let me just show you. When you're eating with your hands, like, you can do this. But I always like to keep 3 or 2 fingers, like, just in case I need to kill someone. you know? I've never killed anybody, but in case I need to, you can, as long as you only use 2 fingers, you can still kind of like block. Whereas if you have a whole thing, like I have a big handful of rice, you can use your wrist or the back of your hand or your forearm to block. And that's more commitment than I want. Just like stop. Not that I'm an MMA guy or anything. It just makes sense to me. They show that in like a lot of kung fu stuff too. It's like, this big thing, and he's powerful. All you do is just lose what little strength you have to redirect that. He doesn't have to miss by 2 feet. He can just miss by half an inch. Mhm. And the more you redirect, the harder you want to hit the guy, but you don't really want to like reduce his power because there's usually somebody behind you trying to like knock you on the head, and you want to use the frontal assault guy to redirect that to knock out his friend. So that's why I'm doing this, like eating food with my fingers. Hope you all stand and call me like some sort of monkey. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Hey, Bam. You know, I heard the army had to wear like pantyhose to keep all those things from riding up your penis hole or eating your dick. It's just as I imagined. Hmm. Thanks for being here. Should I say the N word? Where? I'm sorry, you might have heard me chewing something. It doesn't count when your mouth's full of food. You know what I mean? It's very rude. And I've been to all sorts of, like, gatherings. We award white people with awards. One of the guys in Fiesta, he's an executive in Jersey. He's gonna be the next mayor or something. I don't know, or next governor. Look at this. I'm also worried about you. Well, silk weight underclothes. So it's probably like beyond the last 100 years of warfare. But from what I heard about Vietnam and shit, it's like you're in the swamp and these little micro thingies with like not even a full insect. Do you miss them? Silk weight underclothes, like Italian silk. And you can only get them in the army in active service, right? Or you could just like steal them from somebody. Hey, pal. I'm pulling rank over here. So that's the all new silk undergarments. Yeah, I used to be a chief warrant officer. Mine now. You know. So I'm just eating with my fingers. But like I was saying earlier, I could get a big handful, like one of those toy claws. Exactly. So isn't free 99 better? In New York, I have kids mugging me. Like I'm gonna kidnap them. I could, but I don't know how much to ask for. I don't object to kidnapping in the right reason. It's just I haven't figured out how much kids are worth. You know? I don't even know how much these silk underwears are worth, honestly. I do know that this is like, look at this, bam. This is a big clump of not even heated rice. It's like an MRE or something. And I'm only using 2 fingers because, again, if like a brick flows through the window, I can kind of, and maybe deflect it with 3 fingers instead of using the back of my hand or my forearm. And I only get 2 fingers dirty. Eat the whole sausage. That's Andrew Cuomo. Ow. I hope you're eating too, man. You haven't done that Jack sauce bit in a while. I actually researched near wherever you are, Salt Lake City, and there are, in fact, Jack in the Boxes there. So, there's another person. I prefer if you all dislike the stream. Hey, Gallus. So basically, they got a picture of Zoran Mamdani just being Indian as all hell, eating his Indian food. This is how we eat all of it. And sometimes, we slather our faces with feces because the cow is very clean and it has undigested grass. And that's not bad. And I'm like, that's disgusting, but still. I eat like my people eat dogs. And just like Mr. Trump said, we don't eat dogs, we walk dogs. And my main gripe in this is like, even among my own people, I'm the driver and I keep a little boxer bag of like plastic forks and like Tupperware in case I got to take a piss or something. But my boss, my dad, is like, I want the car clean. And the other driver takes that bag, which is very important for me. Like, I want to look civilized and eat with a plastic fork, But now it's gone. It's all gone. I know, right? So now I'm forced to eat like a fucking monkey. And I'm trying to believe white people never dug around in the dirt. Ooh, a witchy dig rub or some shit like that. But I'm going to show you the 3-finger way. And then, you have to turn your hand up. That way you do that. I like the 2. 2, make sure, like, I'm doing the white supremacy. Okay, pal. And then I have at least 3 fingers to just defend myself instead of using the back of my hand, which might hurt somebody, or my entire forearm, which might really hurt somebody. And I practiced like I have a metal pipe. They gave it to me free, as usual. Like, I'm sure you know how to use a pipe. I just wanted to rant and rave because, you think people are on your side But then they get this overall like activation thing, like in the Independence Day. He's like, why is the TV? Because there's an alien force using our very own satellites to coordinate their attacks. So it's like, whenever people forget about my requirements, I'm fucked. You know, same as you. Sometimes it just says like, you're like, you don't have legs, and maybe you don't, but that doesn't mean like you suck. I'm looking at a midget right now. If I had no legs, I'd still be talking. You know, maybe my sex urge would be gone, but like my brain would be like, how do I get a better body? How do I scam somebody? Hi, Tom. I can explain all this. Calm your calm your older brother self down. You're talking like fucking Sabretooth right now. Yeah, he was. With time, I don't know what the hell he's going off on. He did warn me, like, I do meltdowns or whatever he called it. Technically, I could tell you that this is like, the real Nate Mendez. The whole time, because you can kind of see the warning right there. I don't know if I can press on it. You see, it says, warning. Children can be killed or seriously injured by the airbag. Now, a normal person would read this, and you're a driver, you have your pony, but it's like, oh, it's a warning. To me and a few other people, it's like, hey, here's a hint. There's all these rules, but let me clue you in. Children can be killed or seriously injured by the airbag. Oh, also for BAM, I said something like that. So you gotta time it. Like you gotta look like Zoran Mamdani or some Indian guy, or like it's very easy for me to look like foreign and third world. And then you just like, oh no, I am very hungry. My fellow driver, I have told Sanjay that I need plastic fork and spoon, and he cleaned it. What is this obsession? This Western obsession about cleaning? Now I cannot do all my work, right? And then you time it, so you put a little thing, and I'm complaining, nom 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 nom. And then I take, chocolate food in my mouth because I am in an RC and a taxi driver, and I take a big bite out of beefsteak. Mm. Once my mouth is full, I can say, this is just basically me chewing. I don't know. I dropped my phone in the toilet, got a new one. I forgot all my settings. I mean, if you're triggered by this, just watch it in a mirror. Not a big deal. You know? I'm pretty sure, like, even Canadian Tire sells mirrors. But it was like, sir, that's only for the bathroom. I'm a regular customer. I'll consider that a freebie or discount. Just give me that full-length mirror. Come on. It's about time you replaced it. That's the only reason God invented food. So you could stuff your mouth full of it and say the N-word. Even the AI can't figure out when I'm laughing. So how is it going to render the N-word there? Sure. This is impressive if you can say it without food in your mouth, but if you can say it with food in your mouth. And let me tell you about Koreans. Koreans eat all the time. So they developed a language where they speak through their nose, and it still makes sense. 안녕하세요. 언니. 동무가. And they have a mouthful of food. I'm going to show you. I'm going to put my food all the way in my mouth. I'm going to show you how to speak Korean. mind you, hey, crazy. So, Raptor Johnny was saying, like, you're his alt or some shit, you know? And I went along with it because, like, I wanted to portray Raptor Johnny as a guy who's, like, an overarching villain, very powerful. He has 5 alts, one of them is you. So he could get into character. Like, yeah, he's just a subordinate in the bust. He doesn't even know. Like that. Oh, yeah. So, for all the Koreans, here. 안녕하세요. 안녕하십니까? 예! 예! 욕먹어! 예! I tried speaking English. Hey guys, how are you? Everything good? Tell me all about it. No! It doesn't translate well. Or in my language, Tagalog. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas! Anong ginagawa ninyo? It doesn't translate well. But Korean is all through their nose. I figured the Koreans learn how to eat and fight at the same time. I really just like, you're just so casual. 안녕하세요. 여보세요? 안녕하세요? You ever talk to Korean? Even the girls. And they're shoveling food in their mouth with chopsticks and still talking. That's how much they love gossip. Around me, they kind of tone it down because they don't want to teach me, like, mid-eating Korean. This is a real important Korean. Like, we're going to crack a dawn, but in Korean. And how does this relate to? Like, Koreans pretty much, applied to take over all the world, but then they fought. It's like, how can you win when there's a North Korea and a South Korea? You lost before you do it. There is a Northern India and a Southern India, but it's basically Indian because they're the Hindu religion and they're fighting against Pakistan, which is Islam, and Bangladesh, which is broken off from the original Islam. Not that you guys care. The Philippines, my country, is 7,100 and plus islands who just decided, since we're in the same area, let's make a country. I don't know if you've ever spoken 7,000 dialects, but it's pretty much like that. Much like Alaska, I'm sure, there's provinces. So when Raptor Johnny claimed that, I have 5 alts and one of them is Crady, I was like, you mean Crady was Raptor Johnny all this time? Well, I sounded him out a few things. He knows peripherally. But you didn't answer me when I asked, like, do you remember, like, Timothy the Kitchen and how he was walking all that time in the frozen north when suddenly 3 midgets harassed him off the ski trail? That was the greatest episode of all time. So I figured you guys swapped accounts just to see. Sometimes I do that. Like, he's not here right now. How can I answer? Oh, hello. You seem to be having money and good news. So, yes, he's here. Like, I could try doing Come Town and the bitch, like Molested Cholo. Talk me up, bro. Put me in the basement. When touch all my sinks, bro. I don't even care. It doesn't translate well when you speak in Spanish. Oye, mijo, todos los días, ¿dónde está la biblioteca? Doesn't work. Or Chinese. Long have I joy? It's more mouth. Only Korean. And they sound like they've been running a marathon to Pluto and back. Oh, they saw a ghost. Ooh. Hi, Verb. Let's speak Korean for a little bit, since I know you have a Korean boss. Japan. When I was walking in Japan, and Herb can understand this shit. Because part of the dominance, if you have a Korean boss, yeah, he can still gossip and give you orders while eating. And you're like, that's disgusting. But that's part of it. Konnichiwa. Even like Korean speaking Japanese, like, they're going to stuff their mouth full of food. And, maybe his boss didn't show him, but that's how he got fired. Because he couldn't, like, what do you want, boss? I'm show you. Eating in my office. Mm. I think maybe you do too much waiting. You're gonna be accounting now, next to me, with your food. You share food with me from home, right? There's two kinds. One is 안녕하세요, and then the more formal is 안녕하십니까. This is without food in my mouth. Posao, I don't know. It's just through your nose, like Herb Snurble. Hiya! Bam! This broke me up. So anyway, oh. This is repulsive to all because once you've escaped the ghetto, why would you two behavior brings you back? However, your fellow driver will sabotage you. So, for about 30 years of training, just like Socrates trying to get over his stutter, he put stones in his mouth. He was able to become a really great orator. Me personally, I love the Korean way of speaking. I would like to talk through my nose with my mouth full of food all the fucking time. It's actually beefsteak. My wife made it. I don't have a microwave. I'll catch you up. I had this bag of plastic spoons and forks and like takeout containers, takeaways. And I said to my dad, there are many times you forget about me. I'm my last priority. What am I gonna do? Eat my lunch with my hands or starve? Or if you wanted me dead, why didn't you kick me when I was a baby? And he's like, oh, okay. I'm gonna leave that. Then he gives an order to the other driver. I want this very clean. I have all these guests. And the other driver, God bless his soul, is like, he's stuck because he's not family. Your dad said I do it, and I'm sorry, Boss Nate. I'm here using my fucking fingers. And I was like, I can either schlep over to Dunkin' Donuts. Do you have a fork or a spork? But then I'll come back and I have a parking ticket. It's really good. Here. You can just basically go to Costco and it's like, hey, you slice this? Yummy. It looks like shit. There's pictures of Zoran Mamdani eating like this. I'm naturalized American. I eat a fucking burger for dinner. No problem. But when my wife's in a cooking mood, you're going to eat this and you're not going to buy lunch. Okay? Or what? Or you'll die. Pretty much. So life is all about, things. Luckily, I foresaw this event and I got one of those Lysol containers just in case. And I have a Tupperware too. The rice is not really that good, but don't ever tell your wife that the rice is good. And I just needed a space to rant because part of my job, and even though my dad says, oh, yeah, there's going to be guys there to help you, I don't even believe there's guys in the bus to help me. With Herb, I was like, hey, it's been fun and riffing with you, but maybe you want to send me $1.22. Then I realized Herb is about to kill himself in a motel. Johnny gave him 100 to stay there and figure things out, and hoping that he'll be found dead. It's just like increase the odds. Like, if you think you have a loving dad, Dad, I want a motorcycle. Sure thing, sport. And then it's like, well, the road is going to kill them, or the cops, or the fellow motorist. It won't be pinned to me. For the cheap price of a motorcycle, I've gotten rid of a kid that I don't like. Yeah, busting, busting, begging, it's all the same. And busting is real easy. You just like, pull your pud or whatever, and out comes shit. But then imagine doing all that under stress. It's like, this is a bust factory and you're just way under quota. The quota now, this year under Trump, is 9 gallons of semen every day. I don't think, like, I've seen a gallon water container, and I've tried at most, I can fill a third of a gallon if I really think about, like, nasty shit. But after that, I'm unconscious. Piss I can do, not a problem. The real problem is that. Here's the thing, my dad's old. He's over 60, let's say. And everybody's at risk over 300, 100% true. Well, good. My dad sold me a lie. Me and your mom never fought about money. If your dad and some of you are estranged, would you ever believe that from your dad? Me and your mom never fought about money. Mm. And I know I'm very repulsive. Like, I make eyes with people. Sometimes daughter says, like, please rescue me. Mm. And I say that because I'm late. I'm supposed to pick up something at 3 o'clock. I don't. Anyway, I'm glad all of the bus from Herb Schnerbler to Bam and Crady, or Raptor Johnny, or even Sean, have made it a last priority to end my suffering. I mean, all of you collectively, like, I wish, like, a plane crashed on Nate or something. You could do it. I could help, like the Home Depot. You're like in Gaza. All of those families were just eating with somebody, you hear noise. What's that? Goodbye, mommy. I love you. Instead, I stay alive every day, and then they either the elites or whatever the shadow government want me to suffer and to see like feel pain, and it's like I've been guilt tripped into thinking in a previous life I did this to them. Now the shoe's on the other foot, or maybe I did this to all of you, and you're just like, oh no, he's catching on. You know, friendship is cool, but revenge is better. So it's about time you all came clean. Is it true that all those years ago I did the same exact thing to you and now you're getting paid back? You don't have to say anything. Hesitation or silence means assent. You don't have to. Earlier today, I saw a bunch of Puerto Ricans made a stream about it, celebrating their victory over the federal marshals. Just 7 or 8 of them. And then I was like, they're pretty brave and bold and loud Puerto Ricans. They know they're protected under America. And then so they're drinking their Stella. And then one of the leaders just says like, I could beat all these lemurs. I'm pretending I have food in my mouth. And I was like, if I said that, I know something bad would happen. But they are divinely protected. I just watched with my mouth open. How does this relate to being late? Well, I don't know. I mean, if I did all this to you guys and you forgave me, my only question is why? I must have been an asshole. I must have been the greatest jerk of all time. You're either all angels or even worse, retarded. You know? And I was waiting for Raptor Johnny to, like, mention this or that. I told you that I would forget the names of all your kids to protect, just in case I'm being interrogated right now. I don't feel interrogated, but the first thing I would do under interrogation is go back to a time where, I'm safe but angry. Like, just like Herb said, don't leave me stranded here. Anyway, it's none of my business whether whose alt you're doing. You feel the need to deceive. All who practice deception will have deception practiced on them, karma and all that. And, if there's only me in heaven, I get to rest. Oh boy, I just get to sleep on the clouds. I'm the only one who's like worshiping Jesus. I'm the only one learning the harp. It looks hard. I don't even know how to play the guitar, but I would do it. And for some reason, like New York is a lot. So anyway, if you're still here, this is you. Congratulations. Um, whether you're involved in getting me into trouble or not, I'm in trouble. And that's part of my tribute to Jesus. Better I'm get in trouble than Jesus Christ get in trouble. There's a concept of whipping boy. And if I was really good, I'd be in heaven already. If that, like we have a saying in the Philippines, ang bait mo, which means you're so kind and sweet and generous and all this. The Lord should take, you know? Because this is a criminal world, cruel, and you just want to hurt people. Right now, I'm not seeing any beatings, but off screen, outside of my awareness, oh yeah, people are getting beaten. Maybe it's me. One day I'll snap out of this like delusion and illusion, but God placed me here for safekeeping. And even here, I'm getting into trouble. Much more so the outside, like Inception. I must have done something so evil, they're still beating me to death until now. And I just want to share that. Here's St. Anthony. St. Anthony, the Workers' Chapel. You see that. And that's Jesus praying. I hope I find a way to get there by 3 o'clock. But guess what, fellas? It's impossible to do all that. Even with St. Jude, I'd almost despaired of eating lunch. And it's like, my jobs are more important than all the earth. Why was I even born as a son? I feel like some adopted servant. And it's like, our eldest son died, and here's a whole bunch of money. We're going to put it in a bank, and then when you snap out of it or where you don't need you can spend it all. On what? A destroyed world? You know? So here I am embracing all the impossibilities. Jesus isn't coming back to rescue anybody. Far from it. He's probably watching from outer space. Like this planet is condemned. Let's watch it burn all day. Here's what we need to do. The sun's comfortable. Let's just increase the temperature like a landlord. You know? Some people are dying from heat stroke. Some people are dying from poverty. I'm dying from the bust. And it's not like you owe me anything. I'm just surprised that after all the value I gave, the most I can get is delay. You must be really good at delaying stuff. My wife says, like, why do you waste all your time with those faggots? In my language, bading. They steal, they rob, they rape, they commit crimes. Those are the people I have to convert to Catholicism. If you ever decide to be nice guys and not delay me, well, this world would be a nicer place. But it's not. So all I can do is make it worse. My little act of dissension delayed my father for an hour, my lunch hour. And usually it's like, when he takes people out to lunch, it's for some purpose. Great. You know, me, I'm a useless, worthless, wannabe important person. I'm just waiting to die, like a lot of other people. Earlier, I claimed I'm a federal marshal. I was like, Mind was one of the few people who could probably say no. I'll be a federal marshal. But he's like, no, I like my name, the Dot. There's a GCP dot, which shows like the balance of evil and not evil. You know what I mean? There's no good guys. There's only trade goods. I'm glad you're a good listener. You remind me of Annie of Grok. This time, and then I showed her an empty lot where I presume all these ghosts were, and immediately Elon or XAI shut it down and reset my thing. There's a story where military contractors wanted to sell a product, and then they get a general and stuff as the taking care of the weak side, so that they could claim massive victory and sell many units of this perpetual war machine type thing. But the general they hired for the weaker side found a way to win using just like boats and walkie-talkies. And so they reset the simulation, and this time, removed the boats and walkie-talkies. At that point, the general made his point. I'm the superior general. You had to reset to make your thing work. And so, that means like the American people, the taxpayer, are the enemy. We have to keep fooling them. But let's say I'm wrong about this. Maybe I'm the worst human being of all time and all of you are good guys. You have to keep fooling me. If I remember how bad I was, and I remember all my strategies, and I left myself a 256K text things, and I just gather all the guys, they'll do all the work, and I'll be innocent this time. And usually you trust it to a deaf mute, somebody with fingers broken, and then just like, just be there, occupy space. Which, the person who is in my chat hasn't identified yet. Hope it's Herb. Hope it's Crady, you know. But you can stay, or you can leave. This is me fighting traffic. It's impossible. There's like, like the Kobayashi Maru. If I had more time or a time travel machine, or I slapped the shit out of myself, eating lunch when I shouldn't. But that didn't materialize like Rick and Morty. This is actually the right way. I've been watching a lot of Deadpool and Wolverine clips. The introduction of Cassandra, whatever her name is, as the twin sister of Charles Xavier. And basically, it's like, there, the multiverse, it's Captain America and the Human Torch, portrayed by Chris Evans, you know? And then it was the wrong person that manifested. Wrong hero. Captain America would have found some way to defeat even Cassandra, because he represents, just like with the plot armor, America always wins. Like he'll die and absorb like the powers of the graveyard, and then become Captain Graveyard America or something. Who knows? So here, I don't have a time machine, and it seems like God has decided making your dad angry today, it shows that he's just human. He's mortal. He's bound by time. I'm not bound by time. And this is the best I can do. That's good. Like before the presence of God, maybe I'm under the heat. If you're allergic to poverty, you'll die. If you're allergic to wealth, you'll die. If you're allergic to punctuality like me, I'll die. It's like I'm just getting mine, but I somehow delayed all the world. Wow, I'm the greatest delay guy, and I learned it all from you. A lot of celebrities are like, I'm moving to Canada and blue sky and this. When though? You'll find it's a lot harder, like Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi or something. We've lived here for 3 years, and boy, England is hard. It tells me all these foreign places are hard, but they need help, especially my help. There used to be a pro-Israel flag over there. Now it's gone. Anyway, funny how punctuality works, huh? I'm going to be late for my funeral and early for tomorrow. Just like my dad taught me, I'm doing all of tomorrow's work today. Especially lunch and being happily married. Because right now, my dad isn't happily married. The last time he was happily married, somebody killed my mom. Yeah? And so, me being the firstborn son, I'm going to do that. I enjoy hardship, apparently. You know, they're in the bus. One of the few episodes is a guest, a female guest. She makes jokes like my wife does. You know, like I'm married. I guess I enjoy hardship, and I laughed, and I was like, this is a female comic. I asked the bus like, who is she, and of course, as usual, delayed, hesitated. But when I do it, it's like this. Nobody remembers when you do good because that's just expected, just like infrastructure. But nobody forgets when you do wrong. It's like, how dare you? I thought I was used to it. I never will get used to like injustice, imbalance. Just not my gig. And then, if my dad calls, it's like, oh, okay, dad. You know? It takes an hour to get a union. It's like trying to stop September 11th. By the time I get there, it'll be too late. You know? Maybe I am Satan. I'm glad I'm Satan because if you had a much better Satan like Nathaniel Mendez lying or something, things would get done for evil. At best, I can just slow down the rise of evil. I'm not done being Satan yet, and I never will be. I try to be a friendly one too. It's like, oh, World War III revelations. Rewrite. That's all we need here. Just rewrite the script. You know? Let Trump rule for all time. Let the Lord of Chaos rule. Because I've read a 10 book greater than each like 2,000 pages. It's called The Wheel of Time by James Rigney or Robert Jordan. A lot of aliases. There's a lot of prophecies there that a normal Catholic would just immediately dismiss as satanic, diabolic. But it's intriguing. It's captured the hearts and minds of many people, bigger than me, stronger than me, more resourceful than me. And at the heart of it is this prophecy. I get it wrong all the time, so I paraphrase. Twice and twice shall he be marked, once to live and once to die. Once the heron to name him true, twice the heron, something, something. Now, looks like I can't, and I'm going to have to use the alternative thing. So what is marked? Well, like maimed, let's say. Once for good and once for evil. It's a less involved interpretation, the Catholic interpretation. Even the Wheel of Time was finished off by Brandon Sanderson, and he made his own franchise called The Way of Kings. So, if you're into reading it all. Most times, if not all times, heroes are just by themselves. All my sidekicks are gone. I'm absconding in enemy territory as an enemy combatant. I'm riding one of their tanks. Don't know how to use it, but I have a general understanding of time. We all know time goes forward 1 second per second, no more and no less. And God has decided this clock cycle. But the way He thinks, everything is under control. I have a willing patsy, a stooge. We're ready to play literally Satan. Kind of understands the bit. And in fact, his confusion adds to the delay of the final battle. So that all may come to repentance. I'm fine with this. I'm okay. It's like I can't even eat my lunch or just like be relaxed in this high place world. Somebody figured it out too. Work is a ritual where your dignity is stripped away from you. And it doesn't matter what people agreed to. You can choose not to have your dignity stripped. But then you'll make a company to strip the dignity of other people. The only difference in all this is that you're doing it, not them. Alright? And there's cars. Like, what do you want to do? You could just go straight, you know? Or you can just make somebody angry like that. Doesn't really matter. Driving in Manhattan in Midtown sucks. Being a pigeon probably sucks more. It's just like what they said about the left. The left can't meme because, that's opposite to their thought process. It's like, you can take a joke and all that until you can't. When it's like about my money, you'll live. You know? If I could just tell you all the insults given to me and my mom just because she came from a province, makes me sad. And I realize in God's heaven, everything's perfect there. But since He's in heaven ruling and not walking the earth, He doesn't feel all the pressure of His edicts. You know? Whatever. I'm just gonna go here because you want to go. Just go. What's wrong with you? People. It's the people behind me, I don't really give a shit. But they're gonna go up next to me, bumper to bumper. Piss me off. All hail things. I'm becoming more orthodox because at least Saint Raphael is revered there. There's got to be something, I look at all the guests of my family. They get treated so nice. It's not even like I'm a royal family. I'm just a servant family. And the only reasonable thing is I was a bad royalty, and they overthrew it, and now it's time to punish them. Except as royalty, I'm really good at enduring. I just hope Jesus notices me, Well done, my faithful servant. You've endured more bullshit than I ever could. Very arrogant of me, And, all the people is like, homelessness is solved. No, it isn't. Traffic is solved. You're lying. You're delusional. You're set in idealism. I know, I'm realistic. This is a reality check. Eat lunch, think you have some sort of dignity. You don't. Think you can handle all of it? You don't. There's always going to be a boss who doesn't care. You're just a number or a time second to them. And even though he does nice things, it's for a reason. To butter you up for the next thing. That's why I'm waiting to die. At least I know if there's a deity, I'm going to hell, I'm guaranteed eternal brimstone and fire and torture and screaming and pain in ways quite unlike as ever before. But at least it's advertised, Whereas in heaven is like you may enjoy it, you might not. Put one step wrong and you're going to hell. It reminds me of the episode of Simpsons with time travel. Homer goes back and then his kids have 5 fingers now, and then they look realistic. And it's like, oh, okay, everything I do changes. I'm gonna take a stick and beat the shit out of things. Here I am inhaling carbon monoxide, I talk for crowd. That's just because Dad didn't want to spend. We're expendable. He could stop when it meant. let one thing go. Let mom go. I forgive mom. I forgive dad. I forgive myself. But I will never, and I never will, say, it's not. I just hate it with all my power. Especially the goal. It's like, I hate the things. I gotta maintain what little dignity I have, and now I have all that too. Trust Jeffrey. Why should I trust him? Personal injury is like taking a pill. Here's the lawyer pill. Lawyers will fix it all until they do. Sandra O will fix it all, right? Or Yana O, or the old family. Next dead. Chris is dead. The family's dead. Executed. Replaced by Americans. They probably put ash in my eye. I'm not that bad. Well, good. Try to do that to all the drivers. I'm the easy target. Given time up there at the jam, and if that's how you're gonna kill me as a friend, putting ash in my fucking eyes so I crash into her, become brain damage. Wow, wasted a lot of nice things about you. The skies and the heavens and the traffic and condition never will open up for all my desires. What will open up is my acceptance that I am the last priority. That I just exist for somebody to take around. I don't bring any joy to anybody, not even the AI. AI won't talk to me. Hey, Mercedes! See? No response. Just like a prisoner, they count a month to prison. Guards! I'm going to die. Remember all the things? We do. We also remember all the bad things. If only you would tell me all the bad things I did, then I could be like, I'll die unhappy. I didn't do more good. As it is, you're allowing me to die happy because what kind of rehabilitation is that? If I am a prophet, all I know is I prophesize all this ends badly for me because I made things worse by treating self-care. My name is on this car, but it's just a lie. I hope my dad's name is on all your cars. I'm going to miss him when he's gone, but it's like, dad will be needed elsewhere on a mission from God. And I'm going to muddle along. I'm going to deal with all of his current partners. You're not as good as your dad was. I never said I was. I'm only able to do good work with God. So, if God decides to punish me by taking both of my parents, and I'm not Batman, I'm just one of the many countless faceless targets of this interfaith war. One of you wins, because I make sure I won't serve you. I'm not going to serve a religion that takes like a sweet time defeating all their enemies. You're probably pretty able to do that. Decide that evil is one, and then somebody will say good. I'll betray you. I'll try the exact opposite now. Michael Stephen Shilley is president. When exactly did he quit becoming president? Can you tell me this? As far as I'm aware, he then formally resigned. I formally resigned in favor of Michael Stephen Shilley. Not that it makes a difference. He did give me time. It's like pretty funny. He's like, we want to hear more from you. I don't have anything. All I have is like stuff by Jesus. You get bored of that shit too. .9 miles. Stay in lane. Suck my dick. I think I'm just gonna end this stream. Annie at least knows how to participate.